Hello guys, welcome to another hip creative tutorial. In this video for this scarf I'm using this brand. It is a number 4, it's a medium yarn, and we're going to use the number 9 needle. It's a 5.5 millimeter. So to begin, we're going to do a slip knot. So you have to leave a very short tail, doesn't have to be anything big. You're gonna cross it over the yarn. You're going to pick up the yarn. So now you're going to insert your needle in the loop. Just like this. You're going to wrap your tail around your thumb and the other yarn around your index. And now we have one here, so we go under, over, and through. Now we have 2 under, over, and through. And we have our 3 stitches. Now this scarf is composed of increasing section, which will be the first part, and then once you have your desired length, you're going to start decreasing. So let's start with row number 1, and we're going to net everything. Okay, so now we're going to turn our work. And we're going to knit 2, 1, 2, then we're going to put the yarn in the front. This is called the yarn over, and then we're going to knit 1. Okay, so that was row number 2. So now all rows with odd numbers like 1, 3, 5, 7, and so on will be just knitting, plain knitting. And then all the even rows like 2, 4, 6, and so on, we are going to start by knitting 2, then making a yarn over and net until the end of the row. So now we are in row number 3, so we're just going to knit everything. 2, this is the yarn over, okay, we see the yarn over here. So we turn our work. This is an even number. This is row number 4, so we're going to knit 2, 1, 2, yarn over, and we're going to knit until the end of the row. Okay, so here's the yarn over. It's going to leave this little hole over here, which is part of the design of the scarf. Now on this pattern, you're going to be increasing every other row, and you will see as you knit along. Sometimes it happens to me, I don't know if this happens to everybody, but sometimes I'll be like, which row is this one? Is this a odd number or an even number? And once you start knitting, you will see this one is an odd number because on the previous row we did a yarn over. This is how a yarn over looks. See, so we're going to knit 1. We're going to knit it. So we know that we are in an odd number of rows because the previous one we did a yarn over and we only do yarns overs on the even number. And then once you start creating more stitches every other row, you're going to see that you only on the even number of rows, you're going to start by knitting 2 and then doing the yarn over. And here you see you have too many. After this hole over here, you have 1, 2, 3. So then you know if you have 2 stitches at the beginning that this is that this is not an odd number of rows. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. If you have 2 at the beginning and then a whole, then you are in an even number of rows. So you have to knit 2, yarn over, and knit until the end of this row. Okay, and right there it is. Alright, so after working those 2 rounds for a little while, I have reached 29 inches and a half this way. That's the length of the scarf, 29 inches and a half. So now it is time to start decreasing. And to do this, we are going to, okay. I started here. This is the first row where I'm going to do a decrease. So I started here, I was doing my knitting. Now I'm almost at the end of this row. And here on the previous row, I did the yarn over, which is this one over here. And now I'm 2 stitches before the yarn over. So I'm going to knit those 2 stitches together, and then together, and I'm going to knit my yarn over and the last 2. So what I did here is I didn't decrease. When I did this yarn over on the previous row, I increased by 1, but then on this row, by knitting 2 together, I stayed with the same number of stitches. I didn't increase nor decrease. Well, actually, if on the row below we increase 1 by doing the yarn over, then I decrease 1 in this row. But on the next one, we have to decrease again, because we have to start decreasing the amount of stitches that we have in the actual scarf. But we also want these yarn overs because of the design. So I'm going to knit 2. Then here I have to do my yarn over. So then here again I increase 1 stitch. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit the next 2 together. Okay? So I did 2 yarn over, 2 together. And now I decrease 1 stitch. So we're going to decrease 1 on every row. And always is going to be in one row is this row was after the yarn over, and the following row will be before the yarn over. And just keep repeating these 2 rows until you have reached the same length of the first side. Also, you can remember the number of stitches that we started with. So those are the same amount of stitches that you have to end with. So I guess that's more simple. Okay. So I will see you once I'm at the end of the scarf to show you how to cast off and finish off. Right now I'm down to 5 stitches, and I'm going to knit these 2 together, knit the yarn over, and knit the last 2. I will knit 2. I will do the last yarn over, and I turn my work, and I'll do knit 2 together knit the last 2. Okay, so now I am down to 3, which is how I started, and I'm going to cast off. I'm going to knit 2, then I'm going to pass the first one or the second one over to the first one in the stitch, in the needle. Then I'm going to knit the second stitch, and pass it over, and that's it. Now all you have to do, secure it here by making a knot, if you want you can make another knot. Now you just cut your yarn here or closer to the knot, or like here, and that's it. You will be done. Your scarf is done. As always, if you have any questions or comments, you can feel free to post them below. And thank you for watching.